Hi team, greetings everyone. In the previous session, we saw how to do user management in FireFlink platform. So when we want to do user management, we have to navigate to this users tab, and then we have to do the user management where we can add the users and we can disable the users. So all this information we saw in the previous session. In today's session, we are going to see about roles management in FireFlink platform in license level. So when I say roles management, let me navigate to this particular roles. So once I navigate to roles, if you can see by default we are having two roles. One is full access, one is executive access. To understand these roles, let us have a look into it. So when I say roles, the main purpose of this roles is for customizing the access. So in the user management, we saw roles, right? So there we were seeing full access role. So which is nothing but super admin and admin will be having full access because they are like owners of the license. And here when we are talking about roles, we have two types of roles. One is default role, one is custom roles. So when I say default role, by default they will be present. So here when we navigate to the role section, we can see by default there are two roles present: full access, executive access. Okay, what is this full access? So let us understand the difference between the full access and executive access. And those two roles are called as default roles. Like, why do we call them as default roles? A default role cannot be edited or deleted. Okay, let me try to edit or delete these two default roles. If you can see, I am not able to delete or edit it. Why? Because it is saying default role cannot be edited. Default role cannot be deleted. So here, if we try to delete or edit a role which is by default present, we cannot do it, since they are called as default roles. So here when I say default roles, we have two roles. One is full access, one is executive access. What is the meaning of full access? We can view, create, update and delete resources. Like, what do you mean by resources? So let us explore that. Let me just minimize this. And here I cannot edit it, I cannot delete it. I want to see the details of it. How do we do that? Just click on this more option, say details. Once you click on details, this details pop-up will reflect. And here if you can see name of the role and what is the description of it, who has created it and when it has been created, all the information will be reflecting here. And here project permission, and here it is specified as sections and permissions. So sections, if you see the sections: dashboard, repository, test data, test development, test execution, defects. So all this belongs to which section? Means all this belongs to individual project level. So as of now we are in which level? All project level. And here using this particular full access, they are mentioning what? The access towards the individual project. So when I try to assign full access for a user, what is going to happen? You'll be having the dashboard full access, you'll be having the repository full access, test data full access, meaning that for all these different sections he'll be having the full access, which means he can view that particular section, he can create a resource in that particular section, he can update the existing resource in that particular section, and he can delete the resources in that particular section. When I say full access, what about executive access? He can just view the resources. Okay, let me just check whether it is reflecting the same. So as of now I am in full access. Let me close this. If I want to see the details of executive access, there are two ways. One is clicking on this more option and click on this details, or if you don't want to do that, just click on this executive access name, which will give you the same, which is nothing but the details of that particular access. So here now it is executive access, and here the same sections are reflecting, but the permission is different if you notice. So for dashboard, when I say only executive access, they can have a view at this particular section. They can just view the section. They cannot update, they cannot delete the resources, they can just view the section. For all the other sections, they can just view the sections, not do other things like update or delete. So when I say executive access, they can just view the sections, they cannot do other actions. So okay, now I want to give some customized actions or customized permissions. So here if you can see, for dashboard I want to give them view access, for repository I want to give them full access, for test data I want to give them edit access. So can we customize our own access or our own roles in FireFlink platform? Yes, it is possible. That is called as custom roles. So can we create our own custom roles in FireFlink platform? Yes, it is possible. So here just click on this plus role button. So which will give you the create role pop-up where it is asking for name of the role. So here let me create a role for test engineer or test lead. So I'm creating a role for test lead. So I've given the name as test lead. Description if you want you can give, since it's not mandatory I'm not giving it. And here if you can see we have different sections available and we have different access or different access that we can give for the different sections. So as we discussed, for dashboard section I want to give him only view access for the test lead. For the repository I want to give him full access. For test data, I want to give him full access. For test development, I can give him full access. For test execution, I will give him only edit access. For defects, I will give him only edit access. For analytics, I will give him only view access. For configuration, I will not give him any access. I will keep it as no access. So here if you can see, for different sections, I am customizing the access for this particular role which I am creating. Now if I click on create, this particular role will be created and it will be reflecting in the role list. So here if you can see test lead is reflecting, and this one which I created can be edited and deleted since it is not a default role which is created by a user. So a default role cannot be edited or deleted, but a custom role can be edited and deleted. And if you want to see the details of it, there are more options. You can just click on it and say details, which will give you the actual details of the particular role which is created. And here if you can see for different section what are the permissions that I have given will be reflecting here respectively. So these are the two different roles that we have. One is default role, one is custom role. So default role has nothing but full access, executive access, and custom role is the one which I created, test lead. So is it limited that only one role can be created? You can create n number of roles in this all project level. So these are the two different roles that can be created. One is default role and one is custom role. So here when I say we can create a custom role, this custom role will be applicable for all the projects under the license. And we have seen user management and we have seen roles management. When I say user management, we have three different users, right? One is super admin, admin and user. And when I say super admin, admin, by default, we have discussed that they'll be having full access. And these roles, what are these roles is for? Because super admin and admin are already having full access for all the projects. Then what is the purpose of these roles? These roles are created to be assigned to user privilege. So when I'm adding a person as a user under this particular license, I have to give him or I have to assign him a role. So here if you can see in the user management, the users, or I can say we are adding the users to the license. And in roles management, what we are doing, we are adding the roles to the license. Now, how do we assign these roles to the respective user? That we are going to see in the project level in our next video. So in this video, we have seen how to create the different types of roles. And in the next video, we are going to see how to assign these roles to a particular user in the project level. Thank you.